I turned my own life into a personal lab, and with just a few tiny habits, everything started to change in ways I never expected. I tested 15 self development habits on myself, treating my life like a little experiment with a vision board. And the results were way more surprising than I thought. 1. Making my bed. I used to think making the bed was something only overly tidy people cared about, but after trying it for a week, then a month, it just became the first thing I do every morning. The moment I open my eyes, I finish a small task. And that tiny win sets the tone for the whole day. A neat bed makes it harder to skip workouts or leave dishes lying around. It's not just about cleanliness, it's about raising your own standards. Every night, when I walk past that tidy bed, it feels like the day started on the right note. Small action, big win. 2. Reading the Bible and praying. Instead of jumping straight into TikTok or YouTube, I spend about 10 minutes reading the Bible. Sometimes even one verse is enough to make me pause and reflect. Then I pray. Some days it feels peaceful, and other days all I can say is, I'm not okay today. Please help me. This habit keeps me grounded more than any productivity hack ever could, because life throws unexpected punches all the time. The Word gives direction. Prayer brings peace. 3. Waking up earlier than the world. Waking up at 9 sounds great, but it always made me feel like I was starting the day a couple hours behind the better version of myself. Sleeping in puts me straight into a reactive, rushed mode. I'm not telling you to wake up at 5 a.m. and go for a run. Just wake up while the world is still quiet. When the day feels like a blank page, you can start fresh on. 4. Walking without my phone. Try going for a walk without headphones, without music, without a podcast, just you and the sounds around you. At first, it feels weird. You'll instinctively reach for your phone and then remember you left it behind. But that awkward moment of boredom often turns into clarity. Some of my best ideas for videos or big decisions came from these quiet walks. So put away the AirPods, slow down, and listen to yourself. And if a squirrel stares at you while you're walking, just wave. Maybe it's having a long day too. 5. 1 hour of deep work. This habit didn't just change the way I work. It changed the version of me that shows up to work. It sounds intense, but deep work isn't about working longer. It's about focusing like you're racing yourself. I used to sit for 5 hours and barely get anything done. Now I set aside a single hour, completely cut off distractions like it's a survival rule. And weirdly enough, in those 60 focused minutes, I get more done than in an entire lazy afternoon. Try it. Your productivity will surprise you. 6. Lifting heavy weights. I was never the gym person. I don't take pre-workout, and I'm not the type to yell for motivation. But there's something primitive about walking into a room full of metal and proving to yourself that you're strong enough to lift it. At first, I trained because of old insecurities, but after a few weeks, it stopped being about looks. It became a journey of willpower, showing up when I'm lazy, pushing through when I'm tired, staying consistent when motivation disappears. Lifting doesn't just build muscle, it builds discipline and spirit. 7. Drinking enough water. The most underrated superpower. Those days when you feel tired, irritated, or foggy. Sometimes it's not life weighing you down, it's just dehydration. I started drinking about 600 milliliters of water right after waking up, and I keep a bottle with me all day like it's part of my outfit. Remember, your brain is basically a sponge powered by electrical signals. Without enough water, everything slows down. When I upped my water intake, my mind felt clearer, my energy steadier. It's such a simple fix that it almost feels like a joke. Now I see water as a natural performance booster. Better focus, better skin, better mood, better recovery. Staying hydrated is like updating the software of your brain. 8. Reading 10 pages a day, not tweets, not Reddit posts, actual books. At first, I thought 10 pages was nothing. But the more I read, the more I noticed my thinking slowing down in a good way, deeper, calmer, instead of reacting nonstop like a notification machine. You don't need to load up on self-help. One good chapter can change your perspective more than hours of motivational videos. And the real power is in the compounding 10 pages a day, 300 a month, 12 books a year. Do that for a few years, and you pretty much retrain your entire mindset without ever earning a formal degree. 9. Journaling. Some days journaling feels like therapy. Other days it looks like messy, random scribbles. But the funny thing is, it still helps. Journaling doesn't expect you to be deep. It just expects you to be honest. It's like clearing out the mental drawer every day. Dump everything onto the page, then pick out what's worth keeping. I often start writing feeling anxious, scattered, overwhelmed, and by the end of one page, my mind feels lighter. It's like having an argument with yourself and finally understanding your own side of the story. Writing gives you a private space to think without interruption. No algorithm, no comments, just you and a judgment-free blank page. It makes me more honest, more grounded, and forces me to face things I usually avoid with snacks or my phone. 10. Keeping one promise to yourself. Your life is shaped by how often you actually follow through on what you tell yourself you'll do. And that promise doesn't have to be big. It can be tiny. No Instagram before 10 a.m. Finish one bottle of water before coffee. Clean your room before gaming. Just one thing. The point isn't what the promise is. It's what it proves. It shows you that you're someone who keeps your word to yourself, even when nobody else sees it. I started treating it like a daily agreement with myself, and each time I kept it, I felt steadier, more trustworthy, like the person in the mirror is someone I can count on. But when you constantly break your own promises, your mind stops believing you. That's when procrastination grows, doubts creep in, and suddenly the whole year slips by. But if you keep your promise, even a small one, you build an inner gravity, something that pulls you toward the strongest version of yourself. 11. Learning to say no. I used to be the person who tried to please everyone. My personal boundaries basically only existed in theory. Anyone asked for anything, I'd say yes, then get mad at myself later when I felt overwhelmed. Move a couch at 9 p.m. Sure. Go out for lunch even though I was exhausted? Of course. I said yes because I was scared of being judged and wanted to be liked. not because I genuinely wanted to do it, and it drained me. It taught me to believe that everyone else's needs mattered more than mine until I started saying no. Not to be rude, but because my peace has value and not everyone deserves free access to it. People who respect your boundaries are the ones who belong in your life. 12. Eating whole foods. I didn't change the way I eat to impress anyone. I did it because I was tired of living in a body that always felt heavy and exhausted. Every time I choose real food instead of something ultra processed, it feels like I'm choosing myself. Most people don't realize how much additive and industrial junk is in processed food. But that's a conversation for another day. What matters is this: your mood, your energy, and your ability to focus are all tightly connected to what you eat. When I eat messy, I feel messy. But when I eat real food, fresh, clean, colorful, my body runs so much smoother. I make better decisions, I crave less junk, and I stop standing in the kitchen at midnight wondering what to eat. Eating clean sharpens both your mind and your body. And honestly, it's a choice you'll never regret. 13. A tidy space equals a tidy mind. Your environment isn't just where you live, it quietly shapes who you are. For a long time, my room looked like the aftermath of a storm that suddenly gave up halfway through. Piles of clothes, cups everywhere, old papers sitting around like they were silently judging me. And I wondered why my mind felt chaotic. I learned this the hard way. A messy space equals messy thoughts. You can meditate, drink green juice, play relaxing music. But if you do all that in a room that looks like a crime scene, it's pretty hard to feel calm. So I started cleaning, and strangely, every time I cleaned a corner of my room, it felt like I was cleaning a corner of my mind too. I focused better, worked deeper, and even rested more comfortably. Your space reflects the standards you accept. Once I raised the standard of my environment, the rest of my life quietly rose with it. 14. Talking to myself with respect. I used to talk to myself in the harshest voice possible. You're useless. You can't do anything right. You messed it up again. Then I wondered why I always felt insecure and unmotivated. Until I realized something important. The voice in your head is the narrator of your entire life. You can't live a powerful story if the main character is constantly insulted from the inside. So I changed. I started speaking to myself the way I would speak to a friend I genuinely want to support. Every internal sentence became a tiny training session, either building me up or tearing me down. Slowly, that critical voice turned into an encouraging one. Now I often remind myself, you don't need to be perfect. You don't have to know everything. Here's the truth. You become whatever you repeatedly tell yourself. If your self-talk is full of insecurity, your life will reflect that belief. But if you speak to yourself with respect and intention, you start acting like the person you're becoming, not the person you once felt stuck as. 15. The most important reminder: no one is coming to save you. The day this truly hit me, it slammed into my life like a truck full of self-awareness. There's no secret hero, no perfect mentor showing up at the ideal moment. There's only you. You're both the person who needs help and the one who has to give it. Once I understood that, I started taking full responsibility for my life. The moment you stop waiting for someone to give you a chance, that's when real transformation begins. No more waiting for someone to see your potential. Believe in yourself so strongly that people have no choice but to notice. I set this reminder every day. Sometimes I say it out loud. Sometimes I write it in a note. You're not stuck. You're evolving. You're not a victim. You're the one writing the script. Life will always hand you 1,000 reasons to delay. But discipline and motivation have to be built from the inside. Want to change? Become the person who doesn't need saving because no one's coming. The only person stepping in to lift you up is you. And once you really understand that, life starts to shift, not because of one big moment, but because of the tiny choices you repeat every single day. Thank you for staying until the end. Thank you for giving your time to yourself. If any of this resonated with you or pushed you forward, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Not because I need the fame, but so you don't miss anything that could help you become the strongest version of who you're meant to be. This journey is yours, and I'll be here walking it with you. And if you're still here, thank you. Truly. It means you're choosing to grow, and that choice already sets you apart. If this video spoke to you or pushed you forward even a little, hit like so more people can find it. Tap subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode from True North. Charisma. Your journey is yours to walk, but you never have to walk it alone. I'll be right here with you every step of the way.